Hey, welcome back. Well, got another shopping spree for groceries, that is. Not exactly a spree, is it? Survival. Well, before I actually start, I did want to mention something. Remember the little experiment that you're invited to do about McDonald's? And I did that little experiment myself. I bought a Big Mac meal, so that's a drink and French fries and a Big Mac, like a quarter pounder type of thing. And I kept them on top of the fridge in the same exactly. I never opened it, not even from the bag. I put it on top of the fridge and I left it there. And I left it for, I don't know, maybe a month. It may have been even longer, 6 weeks. And when I took it down, the fries looked exactly the same as when I put the bag up there. Now, what had happened with the Big Mac, I think that had started to go off. So there was some mold starting to appear. After 4 to 6 weeks, you would expect that, wouldn't you? So, a little while ago, you may remember, if you've been watching on these grocery videos, how I stopped using, from the supermarket in town, I stopped using the tomatoes, which I really like to have tomatoes in my diet because I like having cheese. So cheese and tomatoes, it goes together, doesn't it? So I stopped using them stopped eating them because even though they looked okay. Now, if you get 5 in a box, in a little packer, you get 4 or 5. There's always one. It always turns out that one is a little bit soft, about to go. But the rest will be okay. Now, when I ate those, I noticed a smell. And that smell it actually felt like it was kind of mildewy, and it was an unmistakable smell, and it spoiled, even though the tomato actually tasted good. Now, I don't think, taste and smell are really linked together, aren't they? So it couldn't taste great, but they tasted fine, and that was what was available to me if I was shopping in the supermarket. So I used to buy them for convenience. I stopped buying them because of that smell. Now, I guess like anybody else, I go on and off certain foods. And I used to eat a ton of apples, and I always got the apples from the supermarket. And I got them in little packets like this. I'm sure you've seen these. Got them in little packets. Now, look at those apples. Now, on this side, which was the one that was exposed to the air, even in the fridge, the refrigerator, is starting to look a little bit like it's wrinkled. This that was actually on the bottom, so it's sitting there like that. So this part doesn't look like that. Now, I kind of went off eating apples, and these two got left in the fridge. So there's the wrapper. They wrapped them in these little things like this, and they wrap them in those. You can buy that outside. It's not just restricted to the supermarket. So you can buy those outside, and then it's covered over in plastic, so it's sealed. I bought those 4. I ate 2. Those are about 6 weeks old. Now, I was amazed that they still looked good. I got some other apples in there which I got later. These got kind of lost in the back of the fridge. And I looked at the others. The others look very good, and they've just been in there, and they're definitely 6 weeks old. Now, listening to something on YouTube the other day, I learned that apples can be made to last a year. If it's coming in a pack like this, heaven knows where it's coming from. I suspect from China. I don't know. As I say, I suspect that it is. So if it's coming from China, who knows what they've sprayed that apple with to make it stay as it is. So, kind of off eating apples at the moment. So that was just for interest. Okay, so I actually spent on what I've got here. I went out this morning. I'd already been out with taking the dogs, our two little dogs, Ryder and Choco, and I took them to the vet. So once I'd done that, I took them first thing in the morning, and then I had my breakfast with my friend Michael, which I do every Tuesday and Friday. So I met him. I left the dogs at the vet, and then I picked them up. After that, I didn't really feel like doing the shopping, so I came home. So that meant I had to go out later. So I did do quite a bit of shopping there, and I spent 2,626. Now, I didn't get very much meat, but I'll show you what I got for that. Now, the prices seem to be pretty stable, and if I just get the stuff out, I don't have to tell you what that is, of course. So I also got some little wipes and things, because they have like a napkin. It hasn't got any sign on it. I also got these nursery baby wipes because we can't seem to get Ryder clean, so we keep washing him. He still turns out he's got white fur. Turns out that it's brown. Don't know why. Well, I find these are very good for doing the dishes. What did that cost? That cost. Well, it was a dish that was 82 pesos, so $1.50. Now, because we ended up in no man's land this last time, because my pension from the UK, which still has not arrived in my account. What date are we in today? I think, are we 3rd or 4th? What does it say? Actually in the 4th, and it's still not there. Now, we called, I know that this is not to do with groceries, but then I only use that as a launching pad. For the life certificate, which I'm sure that I sent in, I don't think it's that issue. Something else I think is going wrong there. I think that the UK is in quite a mess at the moment. I was watching something on YouTube, which was a video that was taken of someone in some authority in the UK talking to a lot of disgruntled people who think that the border should be open and everybody should be allowed to go in. And the way that they couched that was that they said the UK is known for having a vibrant society that is very good on immigration. It's the same thing that they're having in America right now. The UK has had open borders. Excuse me. Now, whoever the man was, he put the case very, very well. He said, that's very true. And up to a few years ago, the immigration was the pride of Europe, that it was the best immigration system and quota and all of that, how many people they let in. In Europe, it was the best. And they used to let 40,000 a year. Now, 40,000 can be assimilated into society without losing a national identity, which every country has. So, the object of an organized, controlled immigration system is that if the yearly intake of fresh people who are bringing their own way of life, their own culture, the way that things they do, their own language, they come in and they learn the language of the land that they've emigrated to. And so it evens out so that you don't get these ghettos where it's all Spanish or all Jewish or all any one set of immigrants. It doesn't do that. It filters out and it gradually becomes diluted. I know it's a funny way to describe it, but that's what happens. So it means that the weight of the culture of the land, in the case that we're talking about, the UK, it's the English way of doing things is actually adopted by people who come in and are newcomers to the land. Now, the man that was doing the talk said, but if you look at the last year of immigration statistics in the UK, they have had 2.5 million people have flooded into the land. See, they don't have a southern border like the UK does, like the US does, I'm sorry. They are an island, and people can come in a boat 20 miles. There's only 20 something, just a little over 20 miles between the two closest points of England and France. So people can practically swim across that. In fact, people have, right? Not for immigration, of course, these are champion swimmers, but you get the point. So they've had an influx of 2.5 million. Now, in order to keep pace with how many new people they've had, they should be building a new house every 2 minutes, which of course is just crazy. But it also means that the infrastructure is under unbearable pressure. The hospitals, the schools, even the supply of food, everything. Renting a house will be almost impossible. Everything goes up in price and life becomes unbearable for everybody. That's a problem. So, because all of that is going on, I'm wondering where my little pension is on the priority list. Not very high. They claimed that it was already sent on the 31st. Now the thing is that it should be sent around the 22nd or the 23rd. So even then we're talking about 7-8 days late. And now 9-10. It's late nearly, well, it's going to be going on for 2 weeks soon. Now we need that, where I'm a pensioner on a limited income, a fixed income. It's going to go up a couple of percent here and there every year, nothing great. So I need that and I depend on it. It hasn't come, and they're claiming that it did. Now, what is a warning sign? The red flag is that I think we were up to 6 or 7 inquiries by email saying, what's happening? We haven't, they ignored all of those but the last one, 6 or 7. And then they said, well, we checked and it was there. It was sent on the 31st, which is when they sent the email. So in other words, whatever happened, then they were ignoring the emails that we were sending, which is unusual. They don't usually do that. So because of that, I'm thinking, well, we'll lay in some basic indestructible food, right? So we have a freezer, of course, and I'll be increasing on what I've got. I only got two or three or maybe 4 bags of meat which will go in the freezer, but we use that every day. So what else have we got? I know you health buffs will be saying, shouldn't be eating noodles, they're full of something or other. Well, they're full of noodles, and that's what we eat. So I got a few packs of noodles. I counted this out. This is emergency rations that are going to go and be put in. Right, what else? Yes, I know that this is lemons. Now, when I looked at the price, it said 9 pesos, but when I paid for it, it had gone up to 19. So, this is for a drink that I make with apple cider vinegar with a little squeeze, half a lemon squeezed into it, a little hot water, and a large spoonful of honey. And Beth finds that very therapeutic. So, what I think this will be, I got to try to get Ryder clean. I got that. I got some hair stuff for Beth, the one she likes, and for the toilets, concentrated, I've forgotten what this is called now, but it's a muriatic acid. So that's over there. Now, let's throw that down. Now here, never survives the journey. This is the meat. I also got some stuff that was recommended. These are potatoes. We never eat potato, right? So potatoes are really very expensive, like 180 or 200 pesos. I never look even because I've discounted them. But these are quite cheap. They're already made. You keep them frozen, and when you fry up the bacon, you can have those as well. Now here's an interesting thing. So there's the bacon that we get. In the UK we'd be calling that streaky bacon or Danish, and it costs 165. So the trouble is, this is so Moorish. As soon as you eat one piece, you've got to eat another 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, as much as you can afford. So I limited that. I got 3 or 4 the last time, 3 or 4 of these packs the last time, and we ate a whole pack for one breakfast, and we're absolutely pigging out. This is the usual one that I show you. That's just straight pieces of pork that's lean, and that will go in for me. This is more what you're normally seeing, and the total of that was only 105, so $2 for the meal, for one meal. So as I said, I only got two, but I got this as well, which was 100. And then I'm going very early tomorrow, where I don't have to be nudging elbows with all Filipino ladies that are searching through the pork bones. So I got this. This is, well, you can see that this is minced pork. It was expensive. So this is greater weight with the pork bones, but this of course is all meat, and it was a shock. Let me see. 0.504 kilograms, and it cost $1.94, and I've been joined at the table by my dear wife. Right.
Hello.
And what she's doing right now, if I may show you, we have. Do we have that in the yard? The malunggay
Yeah, at the
honey?
back.
We have that?
Yeah, at the back.
Out the back. So everybody talks about malunggay and how expensive it is. We have it growing in the backyard. So what she does is she, as you see, she strips the leaves off, and then, just as a purely evil move against me, she puts that in the broth that we eat, and it's in there, it's floating like dead tadpoles without the tail. And I only eat it because I know it's good for me. God, taking me back to my mother. Eat it, it's good for you. So, what else? So there's the meat. Now, I went crazy and I bought something that I thought perhaps I could put on the cooker and do eggs in those, which makes a really neat egg. We'll use it for something. But that was a little bit more expensive than I thought. Where is it? It's yes, it's a muffin pan, and it was $189. I resisted the temptation to actually have a look and see how much it cost, and I just bought it. So the rest is all a supply, quite a bit, all canned food. So and what we're looking at is tuna. Now I know that if you're living a grand life in the UK, that'll be good. In the UK or the US, you know, your eating habits will be much grander than ours. Now here's I usually get half of that, but this time I was trying to shop in for a little bit more, so I got the big one, which turned out to be expensive for me, but it was something like 200 and where is it? It's about 230 pesos for this, which is $2. Right, so these corned beef, tuna caldereta. Now, if I'm here and Dad claims that she's not going to eat, she'll eat later, but I will have one of these with some rice, and it's a kind of a snack meal. But all of these, which you can see, now we'll never get through those in a week. These are occasional, they're occasional things. Look, there's a bigger can of tuna. Now before I used to get only these, and if Beth had this as a snack meal when I wasn't here, what she would do is she would open this can and then she would eat half of it. So I try to be a clever dick and get the half of one. So now she can just eat this and eat the whole thing and not put it into the fridge, because it's not good to store, no matter how many times I tell her, it's not good to store half of a can of anything and not take it out of the can and put it into something else. I like baked beans, so I thought baked beans and some of that minced pork, and I'll have something that might masquerade as chili. It'll be the best I can do. and with rice it will be fine for me, as long as I don't try to fool anybody else that it's delicious. Anyway, that's what we've got. What I didn't get was I didn't get any eggs. I didn't get a lot of meat. Normally I would get 4 or 5 of these bags like this, and that would be one bag for one meal, dinner. Well, I've gone on too much now, so you've probably all gone at home anyway. So there we are. Beth will probably have separated it into 2 videos, so what the heck. Hope this helps, just to know what you buy and what you get for 2,600. This is what it gets. Okay, so good to be with you. Bye for now.